I'm Sylvia Selleck, and this is Grace Andrews, my co-host. I mean, no, we don't have co-hosts. We're both regular hosts because we share the weight. All right, what are we going to be talking about today?
Today, we are talking about the Crucible, written by Arthur Miller in 1953 during the Red Scare in America.
Yes, the Red Scare. Woo!
Which actually just reminded me of a joke.
Okay, all right, let's hear it.
Okay, why do communists only drink herbal tea?
Why?
Because proper tea is theft. I can't.
So, we're going to have a little introduction warm-up question, just to kind of get us talking about the plot and the characters, kind of warm us up. So, here we go. This is the first one. Who was your favorite character and why?
Okay, so my favorite character was none other than the person I read for. It was Danforth, because I don't know, he was like the governor guy, and so he was trying to use all of his investigative skills to get all the evidence to make sure that he was correct when accusing people of being, a witch, or if they were right or if they were wrong, and he had to not be biased. So that was pretty cool of him.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite character?
My favorite character was Elizabeth Proctor. She basically got persecuted and accused of stuff, detained for doing nothing. Her husband cheated on her with Abigail, who's the girl who accuses her of being a witch and whatnot, and plants the little puppet in her house and makes it seem like it's like a voodoo doll or something. But throughout all of that and all the accusations and all the persecution, she keeps her composure, which is crazy. She just responds so well, and I just envy that, because I don't always do that when I'm
upsetting spaghetti.
When I'm upsetting spaghetti, when somebody's done something wrong against me, I get a little cranky, because that's not right.
Yeah.
Second question, who is your least favorite character and why?
You can go first.
Oh, me? I'm going first?
Yeah.
My least favorite character? How'd you guess? It's Abigail, because she's a brat, and let's just say she's not very modest. She doesn't even, with all these things that she does, all the trouble she causes, and all the witch stuff that, happens that's basically caused by her. The justice is not done to her. Nothing happens to her. She steals money and then she runs to another town, which, low-key, I'm kind of mad at you, Arthur Miller, for writing that, because, I need the revenge. I know revenge is God's, right? Right, revenge is God's. I don't do that. But when you're an author, I think you have the right, okay?
Yeah.
Who's your least favorite character and why?
I don't like her little bestie, Mary Warren.
Oh,
she is so fake and two-faced. She's around Joan Proctor and around Danforth and the not important, but bigger people.
Yeah.
She's all oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I had no idea, little innocent girl that doesn't know what's going on. And then she's around the girls and she's all witchy, not witchy, but she's a liar. And then she's also tituba.
Tituba. I just don't understand Mary Warren. Just tell the truth and you'll be fine.
It's she almost has no reason to lie. Honestly, none of them have any reason to lie, but especially Mary Warren. What are you to lie about?
The only person that has anything to lie about is the witch, and we don't even know who it is. Who is causing all this?
I'm gonna say it right now. I think it's Tituba.
It's probably Tituba. She speaks in that different language. She's the one with she makes the charm.
She was do this in the woods.
Shout out to Mr. Theobald. Our first introduction to Tituba was that she was doing this in the woods over a fire. So thank you to Mr. Theobald for that demonstration. So now we're going to get into the main discussion of this podcast, which is the rhetorical appeals that are used in the book to connect the audience to the story and kind of prove a point during the 1950s when the Red Scare was happening in America. So what do we have first?
So first, we have ethos. Throughout the text, I noticed that ethos was mainly used connecting the Salem witch trials over to the Red Scare, the present time, and because the saying, those who don't know history are bound to repeat it, and so it was kind of they were using as a warning, and they were using the credibility from the Salem witch trials to say, hey, if you don't understand the story now, then that might come back here during the Red Scare, so let's not do communism, and they wanted to just save a bunch of lives, and it was pretty interesting.
Next one we're going to talk about is pathos, and guess what? It's about my favorite character Lizzie, basically, I think Elizabeth Proctor is a character that's used in the story to kind of convey emotion in people. She's not guilty of any of the stuff that she's put on trial for. Like, she's not a witch, obviously. She doesn't do anything wrong. She's got kids at home. She wants to take care of them. She's got a husband that cheats on her, and she does not deserve that. It kind of compares the people that are being accused of all these communist things to Elizabeth, and then you kind of see, like, the cruelty in that, and that it shouldn't happen. And so that kind of like further proves the point that Arthur Miller is trying to convey with this book. I feel like people really feel for Elizabeth Proctor when all these things happen to her, especially because she's not guilty of any of it. So, and she's not.
She's kind of
doesn't
sadly
deserve
like
that.
a victim.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about some characters now,
Okay.
specifically. So I think first, let's talk about some dynamic and some flat characters. So who do we think was the most flat character in this whole story? I think we can all guess who she's gonna say.
The most flat character that I think is Abigail Williams. Woo!
No way, I had no idea she was gonna
Yeah,
say
it was definitely Abigail Williams because she tells all the girls that she's like friends with, she's like, I watched my parents die, I'll kill you too. She stays like that. She doesn't change. She doesn't learn anything. She just stays the same. Her behaviors are the same. She is a liar. Same old, same old. So that's my input. What about you?
I think, like, she started out mean, she started out evil. She literally drank a potion to kill Elizabeth.
Girl.
Like, girl, you're 17. Why are we murdering grown women? And then also, when John Proctor cheated on his wife with Abigail, she knew how old he was. Why are you in love with a 30-year-old man? You're 17. Like, you need to be thinking about, like Barbie dolls.
No, seriously, like, why are you trying to get with this 30-year-old man?
For me, it's the fact that neither of us are 17 yet, but, like, we understand. Why are you in love with a 30-year-old? That's just weird. And then at the end, she's all, like, crazy overall, and then, like, John Proctor went crazy, and she had no character development. She was just mean and rude the entire way through.
And she doesn't get what she deserves. Like, there's no room for growth, because she doesn't get what she deserves. She just,
no
like,
justice, no peace.
She just gets what she wants. I think that's crazy. All right, so now we're gonna talk about dynamic characters. Who do you think is the most dynamic character?
I thought I don't know about most dynamic character. I wouldn't say one specific person was the most out of everybody, but a pretty dynamic character I thought was Reverend John Hale, because he started at the beginning, like, he was the pastor, the reverend, and he was very educated in theology and religion, and so at the beginning he was able to back things up and use his evidence, and he was like, my faith in God has led me to believe that this is my blah, 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 blah. And then towards the end, he just went a little crazy. He was like, I don't know, God this and God that, I don't even know. So then he, like, left the court or abandoned the thing, and then he came back and he starts lying on Abigail's behalf to save her and the girls. Like,
Can't do that.
John
Can't do
Hale,
that.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
God is watching.
Bro. How can you be so religious and think this is okay? How?
Yeah.
How can you be so religious?
Like, no wonder John Proctor went crazy. He was lucky a victim too. Minus
Yeah.
the cheating.
Like, I mean, at the end, I totally see that because he was getting accused of being
A wizard, I guess.
Not a witch, I guess a wizard, bro. They said that like once. But I just don't see how you can be, like, because John Proctor was obviously not a character who was very religious. They said he didn't go to church very often, especially when Elizabeth something was happening. I think she was sick, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so he kind of stopped going to church because of that. But then, like, people are accusing him of not being, like, religious because he doesn't go to church. Well, the religious people that go to church are not being very religious at all.
Yeah, they're like
hypocrites. Yeah, exactly. With that said, yeah, I think Reverend Hale is definitely our most dynamic character.
Yeah.
Or at least one of them. He starts out, like, being the religious guy, and then...
Yeah, pretty much everyone but the girls were dynamic.
Yeah.
Actually, so
Guess what? In the Bible it says don't lie.
Yeah, guys.
So don't lie.
Yeah, thanks for that input, Soph. So now, as we begin to wrap up our episode of Partners in Crime, I have one final question for you.
Okay. All right, let's hear it.
Who is the most underrated character in this story, and why?
I think I have an answer. John Proctor. I know that sounds crazy. This is why he's underrated, right? So he cheats on his wife, right? We obviously don't condone that. Don't cheat on your wife. But later in the story, when Elizabeth gets accused of being a witch and gets detained, taken away, put in the court, and then he gets accused too, he's like, all right, I might just die because honestly, I think I deserve it. He recognizes that. He recognizes that he did something wrong. I mean, honestly, I don't think you should die I think your wife needs you and your kids need you. He's starting to realize that right now he just needs to care about his family. He needs to be there for Elizabeth, he needs to be there for his kids if he can. He starts trying to like prove that his wife is innocent. Obviously she is, right? But, you know, I started being more fond of John Proctor near the end of the book. I didn't like him at first, but then, you know, I started to like him more.
Yeah, Jesse did a good job at like reading.
Yeah, shout out to Jesse,
Shout out to
bro.
Jesse.
Oh my gosh. Okay, who do you think is the most underrated?
I'm kidding though.
Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there.
But seriously, Reverend Hale, because he was just going through so much. He didn't know what to think, he didn't know how to act, but he, up until the very end, he was pretty level-headed and he was able to articulate what he needed and how he was able to like stand up for what he believed in. He was very strong in his faith, and you know, till the end, of course, but we don't need to think about the end.
Alright, I think that pretty much sums up our discussion about the Crucible and the Red Scare. So
Yeah, communism is bad.
Yeah.
That's the big
communism is bad.
big
Red
story.
Scare.
Witches are bad and communism is bad. That's the two things you learned
Yes.
today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. But until then,
Partners in Crime 2026 out.